Firebrand is one of the upcoming historical films of 2023 that I have been really looking forward to watching, as the cast and storyline in this movie looked really interesting and it has the potential to be a great historical movie. So Firebrand recently got displayed to some critics and audiences for early viewing at the Cannes Film Festival last week, and we have received some early reviews for the movie from various outlets that got to see the film on May 21st. A few people have asked me in the comments below when this movie will actually be getting its cinema debut, and from what I can tell, there hasn't been any confirmed release date as of yet. Pretty much Sony has worldwide distribution rights for this film, STX International has the film rights for the UK, and it seems they're currently in talks with Amazon Prime Video to either release the movie directly to the streaming platform or in cinemas as well. But anyways, what do the critics have to say about Firebrand? So far, the reviews for this movie have been pretty mixed, with it currently holding a 50% approval rate on Rotten Tomato and an audience score of 5.6. It is faring a little bit better on Metacritic with a 60 score overall. So what does that mean for the average viewer like me and you? Well, it means the movie is decent but not amazing, and that there are some elements of the movie which are pretty good, but there are also a lot of elements of the film that the reviewers were not overly impressed by. For reference though, historical movies with a similar rating to Firebrand are The Centurion, Ironclad, and Kingdom of Heaven, and I really enjoyed all three of these films, and there's no reason to believe that Firebrand won't be an enjoyable, if not flawed, movie to enjoy as well. So one of the most common positive aspects of this film, according to most of the reviews I have read, is the performance of Jude Law as Henry VIII, with The Guardian going so far as to say Jude Law outrageously steals every scene as a horrendously unwell and cross Henry VIII in this two-door court intrigue drama that also serves as an amusing noir counterfactual. So Jude Law's performance seems to be getting 2 thumbs up from most reviewers, but unfortunately the same cannot be said for his co-star Alicia Vikander as Catherine Parr, with her performance being reviewed as muted and emotionless. But the plot does seem very interesting, as it focuses around Henry VIII's suspicions that his wife Catherine is being disloyal to him, and that instead of just executing her, his advisors advised that he should find evidence of her betrayal first. That way the masses would know of her desire to cause dissent within the kingdom after his death. And from what I have been able to read online, the plot seems to be executed well enough, although a few reviewers did think the suspense was built up well, but they didn't give a real payoff. Also, alongside the plot, pretty much every review I have read so far does say that this film is completely historically inaccurate, and it doesn't really follow the historical trajectory of either of the characters very well at all. But the cinematography, set pieces, and costume design have all been praised, and critics seem to think we have a Tudor version of England which is rich and engaging. So from what I have been able to gather in my research of these early reviews for Firebrand, it seems that Firebrand is a movie that has great acting by Jude Law as Henry VIII, and a good, if not always engaging plot, and some great cinematography and visuals. Most of the criticism seems to be aimed mostly at the development of Catherine Parr's character and the lackluster performance by Alicia Vikander. Also, it seems that most critics would have preferred a more historically accurate depiction of both characters. But overall, I would say this movie sounds great, and I will definitely be watching it in cinemas whenever it gets released later on this year. So let me know in the comments down below if you're excited for this film, and if these reviews have convinced you to go and watch this movie in cinema whenever it gets released. So lastly, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching, and if you love anything to do with historical TV shows or historical movies, then subscribe